matters. There will be another pandemic, and they will pull out your report for guidance. I hope it has real answers. God forbid 1.2 million people died in vain. Thank you.
Thank you. I now recognize myself for as much time as I may consume for questions, with equal time being afforded to the ranking member of the committee. The question is asked, did the federal government require that the state of New York mandate that its nursing homes admit or readmit residents? The answer is no. Did the federal government mandate that your state issue a directive that prohibited a nursing home from testing an admitted or readmitted resident for COVID-19? The answer is no. In fact, I don't believe I'm aware of any other state besides yours that expressly prohibited a nursing home from testing returning or newly admitted residents. Only in New York. The other states that have been alleged issued similar orders, none were in place as long as New York. So many states reverse course. And I surmise, because it doesn't take a doctor to realize that it was a dangerous, misguided plan. Nevertheless, Governor, you've maintained and testified to us since the pandemic that your directive was based on and consistent with CMS and CDC guidelines. You're a lawyer, so you know the difference between permissive versus prescriptive language, I assume. And the word shall and must, are they permissive or prescriptive? Governor, are the words shall and must permissive or prescriptive?
It depends on the context.
Okay. Well, those words are right in the directive. This was not advisory or guidance. You have also claimed that the directive followed CMS and CDC guidance. Did you ever speak with anyone at CMS or CDC about the directive beforehand?
You'd have to ask the Department of Health had those conversations.
So what you're saying is you did not ever speak with anyone at CMS or CDC about the directive beforehand. I'm asking you. I can ask them later, but I
spoke to the CMS and CDC about a number of matters.
Did you speak to them about the directive beforehand, your directive?
I did not speak to them about this directive, to the best of my recollection.
Not even after? After the directive, did you speak with them?
To the best of my recollection, no. Okay. Nor did they speak with me.
Not even to ensure that what you
No, they never called.
Okay. In fact, no one we interviewed said they consulted with them to ensure the applicable science was being followed. Former White House coronavirus coordinator, Dr. Deborah Birx, she was in charge of all federal guidance in 2020. She testified that your order absolutely violated CMS guidance. Is it your position that Dr. Birx lied?
My position is you deceived Dr. Birx. You suggested to Dr. Birx that we did not have transmission-based precautions in place, and that was not true. As you know, the Attorney General conducted this investigation. This is not new news. These charges were made 4 years ago. You then had 3 Department of Justice investigations that reviewed them. You then had an Attorney General's investigation that reviewed them. The Attorney General of New York, who governs the New York law and interprets the New York law, found exactly contrary to what you are saying and said it repeatedly. And you know she said it repeatedly. She said, quote, the March 25th advisory did not require admission of COVID-19 patients into nursing homes, but rather said the admission could not be denied solely. Merriam-Webster says that means only on the basis of the COVID diagnosis. The Attorney General said, while some commentators, and these were Republican commentators she was referring to, suggested Department of Health March 25th guidance was a directive that nursing homes accept COVID-19 patients, even if they could not care for them, such an interpretation would violate statutes and regulations that place obligations on nursing homes to care for residents. The March 25th guidance was consistent with the CMS guidance. The March 25th guidance was consistent with the CMS guidance. If nursing homes have the ability to adhere to infection prevention and control recommendations, it was also consistent with CDC